Kia ora, hey there, I'm Charlotte Squire. I'm a writer and I'm a musician, and I live at the end of the road in Golden Bay, New Zealand. I run a memoir course, I'm in the process of taking over our weekly newspaper, and I'm a singer-songwriter. These are my notes from the end of the road. Welcome back to Notes from the End of the Road. Here I am sitting on a tractor at dusk. I'd meant to take you to the beach, but it's like about 6:30 now and we've had daylight savings, so we've lost an hour, which means it's not daylight here anymore. So I thought I'd give this a go and see if it's possible while my 11-year-old skates very close by. In this episode, I officially buy the GB Weekly. I also introduce you to the lovely Jo, who Jo and Charlotte are the couple who I've bought the GB Weekly from. So we meet Jo, who's been the editor of the GB Weekly. And then we meet a very lovely human called Richard. He's the drummer in my band, The Forge. Well, it's not my band, it's our band, The Forge. It's a 6-piece band, and we play all around the heaving metropolis of Golden Bay, which is actually a really small community of 5,000 people. I interview Rich via a series of questions I wrote for him. He reads them out and he answers them as I drive us to quiz night at the Muscle Inn. Then we meet Mike, who has been writing a series of books with me. He is a 10-pound pom who came out to New Zealand from England in the 1950s. Onwards. Newspaper time. Here we are in the GB Weekly office, and I had just signed the papers to legally buy the GB Weekly. Freaky and exciting. Meet Jo.
My name is Jo.
Jo just sold the newspaper to me, and I thought it would be good to introduce him.
I'm sort of a scientist, I guess. I used to teach environmental and marine science back in the UK at Plymouth University. I was there for well over 10 years. And then I came out here on a fellowship in 2017, and thought, oh, it'd be great to come out here for a few years. And so we moved the family out 2 years later, and myself moving from being an academic into a newspaper owner, which is a bit of a steep learning curve, but yeah, it's been great. It's probably the job I've enjoyed most. Well, my first involvement with the GB Weekly was in 2012 when I answered an advert for a part-time reporter, just on spec, and I was taken on and started to write regular articles for the paper under Marg and Neil. That's Marg Braggins and Neil Wilson, who were the owners of the paper at the time. And it very quickly became the thing that I liked most, even though it was very, very part-time. And then after a few years, I thought, oh, I really want to get more involved in this. So I just asked Marg whether they were thinking of selling the paper at any stage, and if they did, would they consider me as a potential buyer? And pretty shortly after that, we'd done the deal, and I took over the paper in October 2017, and I've run it for the past 8.5 years. Running a rural community newspaper it's a challenge, but it's also got its great rewards. If there's one, I can't think of a better way of getting to know your community, and getting into all the corners of the community, meeting all the interesting people in the community than running a rural newspaper. It's obviously a small newspaper, so we have a small team, but I love working in a small team. It's very intimate. We know each other very well, we respect each other. We've got different skill sets which seem to combine really nicely. It's good. You really feel connected with all your readers in a small community. And we get a lot of feedback, direct feedback. Most of it good, not all, but that's part of running a rural newspaper. Yeah, well, now it's come that I'm handing the paper over to someone else. It's kind of surreal. It's almost like I can't believe it. It's been such a big part of my life for so long. So yes, I will be letting go, but it's going to be a fairly gradual process. I'm going to help Charlotte and her new team out, and I'm more than happy to do that. And I'll be sticking around for as long as I'm needed, but I won't hang around longer than I am needed.
It's music time. Rich is a drummer in our band, The Forge, and this night it was his birthday.
What is your name?
My name is Richard, and I
play the drums for the band called The Forge.
Who are the Forge?
Forge are an eclectic bunch of musicians, 6 in all, sometimes 7. They say they play 80s, but they actually 80s covers, but they actually play more than that. They play some from the 60s, some from the 70s, some from the 80s and beyond. They also play originals by Charlotte Squire and Brian, otherwise known as Brian.
When did you start?
When I was 18. When I was 18 I started. Someone gave me this radio drum set, put it in my dad's shed and started playing. I can't remember how I would have played ZZ Top, but maybe I had a cassette in those days, in the 80s. Do we have cassettes in the cassette players in the 80s?
They were big then.
Yeah, so I must have had one of those, and I used to play ZZ Top in the original album and just played along. I never took any lessons. How did you meet Charlotte? I met Charlotte at Play Centre, actually. I had my daughter Malika there, and she had, I don't know, did you have any children there? Would you have
Probably Kahu.
Well, probably Kahu, yeah, Kahu was there. Later on, there was a flood, and I got stuck in town with my son, and we were figuring out where the heck we were going to stay. And Charlotte piped up on Facebook and says, oh, they can come around to my place, I've got a spare bedroom. So, yeah, we went round there. Charlotte played some of her beautiful tunes, made me cry.
In a good way.
In a good way. Beautiful, beautiful music, beautiful voice, just really touched me. That was the beginning of our music career together.
Any advice for aspiring drummers?
Look, just get some lessons, and no matter how foolish or how useless or how incompetent or how unskillful you seem, perseverance will always provide you with new skills. You'll learn things that you never ever thought you could learn. You'll learn licks and tricks that in the beginning you never thought you'd be able to master, but through practice and just step by step, you'll get it.
It's book time. We had a monthly meeting for our online memoir course students the other day, and Mike came along to give a talk about the life that his book had taken on. So he's written one book he's published. This is his second book. We're about to publish it for him. And Mike's really amazing at being honest and heartfelt in his writing, especially for a man of his generation.
Subject men don't talk about. Not serious mental issues. It's how to handle things in life for a guy when he thinks he's the breadwinner, and then everything turns to custard and you feel useless and you can't do it. And my answer last night was, if I can get through what I had, then you can too. I poke my chest out a wee bit and say to myself, I'm quite brave to actually put this out there, because when I talk to my friends, they go, I'd never say that about myself. Well, that's the problem with guys. They keep it inside and bottle it up, and like I used to, and it's not good.
This is one of the things I really like about working with my parents' and grandparents' generation. People like Mike show that there can be just total honesty in their memoirs and their life stories and their histories, and it can be quite healing. Often there can be reconciliation down through the generations, or some kind of new awareness when people write their stories. And I really, really love that about this work, guiding elders to write these incredible stories, ordinary people with extraordinary stories. I hope you enjoyed that episode 2 of Notes from the End of the Road. It was a pretty overwhelming week for me last week, and it's good to capture that, because I know that eventually this is all going to become normal for me. I'm becoming a creature of routine as I get older, and I realise that right now my nervous system is all in sort of a bit of a, I don't know what mode it's in, it's sort of freaking out still. And I'm just adjusting, and my mind is just full of things that I think I've got to do as I set all the systems up to take over the newspaper. And I'm not sleeping great, but I know that it's just a temporary phase of adjustment. Great team around me, amazing supportive people around me, helping me settle in. And finally, I wanted to say to you, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're taking good care of yourself, and you're listening to yourself, and you're doing some things that make you feel good. And now I'm going to go back to watching my 11-year-old become a skateboarder. I'll see you again soon.